Good morning, everybody. So today is Sunday.
We're going to start off here on the field corn, cutting corn stalks for our farm market for decoration. We sell a lot of these throughout the season, and right now is prime time. Everybody wants to start decorating their houses now just because it's fall and Halloween coming. So how we do it is my dad will take a knife or clippers, whatever we have, cut the corn stalk off, lay them in a bundle of 5 or 6, maybe even 7, and then I'll come behind them and tie a string at the bottom of the corn stalks, and I'll tie a string at the top just so that it's held together good and nothing's going to fall apart. So now that we got about 15 bundles, we're ready to load them up and head back down to the shed. So another thing we're out of at the market is bagged corn, so now me and Dad are going to start doing that. First we got to go into our storage and grab our scale. Now the scale is older, but it works really well. We've been using it for years and we've never had a problem with it.
Got it?
So now we're ready to start bagging. I'm going to press this top black button here on the right. It'll start the auger to run the corn out of the bin into the bag. Once it gets up to the broy in there, I know it's right around 50 pounds. So then I'll bring it over to the left side of the scale so that we know that bag needs to be weighed. And we'll keep repeating this process until I get about 50 bags lined up. So then once we're done bagging, that'll put them on the scale. And as you can see here, where that little dangly thing is on the scale, that's bouncing up and down. Once that starts to float right in the middle, we know it's good, it's 50 pounds. Then he brings it over to me here, where I'll start to tie them. So then after they're bagged, weighed, and tied, we load them on the truck and we haul them out to the market. So now we're moving into stackers. Usually the way we pick them is we'll pick them and throw them right into the bin. But because we don't have a lot of helpers, it's just me and Dad, we're just gonna pick them, stack them on the side of the wagon till it's full, and then throw them all in the bin after that. We have a lot of different colors of stackers, as you can see. We have the orange ones, the white ones, and the pink ones, just in this load right here. Then we'll start to load them into the bin. These are actually a lot heavier than they look. Each one weighs between 15 and 30 pounds. And you also got to be careful because even though they are very hardy and they'll last all fall, they can bruise very easy, so I try to be as careful as I can when stacking them. So then here's from my point of view when cutting them. A lot of stackers actually will grow upside down, which is kind of funny, but the green ones mostly grow right side up, which is nice because when you're stacking them and you're making them pretty on your porch, you don't have that dirty side with the rock marks in them. So then the last color we have of the stackers is like this grayish blue, which is one of my favorite, but these are also one of the heaviest. So now that stackers are done, we're moving into pumpkins. These are also very nice. They have nice, good, thick green stems. But as you can kind of see, after doing all those stackers, I'm starting to get tired. We're just trying to get enough for the market, and then we're gonna head out and start doing something different. Now that we're finished, this is what the load looks like. We got 2 bins of stackers and 2 bins of pumpkins. So then now we just got a call from the farm market saying they need stuff like cauliflower and broccoli, cabbage, sweet corn. So now I'm gonna move into getting all that stuff so that they don't run low. You can see here in the upper portion of the screen down there, all that cauliflower was dead, and that's from all that rain we got. It just laid too wet, and the cauliflower couldn't take it, and it died. But we're still very fortunate to have 3/4 of a field of beautiful cauliflower, so there's no reason to complain. So now moving into broccoli, and as you can see, this is not a big head of broccoli. What this is actually it's shoots. When you cut the main head off of broccoli, it starts to sprout out these little tiny ones like you see here, but there's nothing wrong with them. And actually, my mom prefers these when she's cooking just because they're actually a little more tender and they're better tasting. So now moving on to regular cabbage. This is actually really nice. It's our new patch. I'm gonna get 2 crates of these and then move on to sweet corn. So this is actually our very last patch of sweet corn for this year, and we've been selling it probably for about a week now, and a lot of people have been coming back saying it's the best sweet corn of the year, which is kind of odd because usually the last sweet corn of the year gets wormy and kind of loses flavor. So it's exciting to hear that because it's always nice to have a satisfied customer. I'll open one up here quick so you can see what it looks like. Tastes really good.
All right, so I got everything loaded up. I got the cabbage, the onions, sweet corn, cauliflower, and the broccoli.
So now I'm gonna pick some stuff for market on Monday. Right now I'm in the high tunnel picking green tomatoes. We haven't picked in here in a while just because we had them picked off earlier in the season and it took a while for them to grow back. But what's so nice about these high tunnels is we start them way before we start them in the field, and we're gonna have them way after. So now I moved to the field for some red tomatoes, and as you can see, they're loaded. We probably have hundreds and hundreds of baskets out here. It's a shame frost is probably going to be in about 2 weeks. We're going to lose 3/4 of them. But for now, we're going to pick as many as we can sell, and just do the best we can. As you can see here though, I'll probably be able to pick a basket without even moving.
So I just got back with the tomatoes, and as you can see, they're beautiful. It probably only took about 45 minutes in total to pick all of these. You just scoop them up by the handful.
So now I moved on to Kohlrabi. For those of you who don't know what Kohlrabi is, it kind of tastes like between a cabbage and a turnip. And then the next question I always get is, well, what do you do with it? And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take those outside leaves off, take the outside layer off, and then they'll just slice it thin, put some salt on it, and eat it raw. Or you can dice it up and put it in soups. It's kind of a multi-purpose vegetable, but for the most part, that's what I hear people do with it. So now what we're doing is loading up the guys' onions that they got picked. They got about 40 baskets here. The truck can only hold about 20, so we're just gonna get as many as we can and head back to the shed. It's supposed to rain and we don't want to let these get wet. So now the last thing I'm going to be picking for today is eggplant. Now I only want to get about 6 baskets, so it shouldn't be too hard, but it is a little more difficult now because we got a lot of the eggplant picked off, and as you can see, they're pretty weedy, but I'm still finding quite a bit and I don't have to move very far.
Alright, so I just got done with the eggplant. They're actually really nice. They're not as big as they were earlier on in the season, but they're still, like I said, beautiful. And that should be pretty good for tomorrow. It's supposed to be a little rainy. We never know how it's going to go. You can never tell, but all we can do is hope for the best. So now that eggplant's done, I can back up here to the onion field to get the rest of the onions. Finally, this whole field, all 30,000 onions are out of the ground. Now we did lose some, so it's not quite 30,000, but for the most part it is. So as always, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one, and always remember, it ain't much, but it's honest work.